All right, so you can see here I am on Google Trends. If you're not familiar with the website, you just go to Google, type in Google Trends. It'll be the first search result, or you can just go to trends.google.com. And what this does is, you can see I have some filters here. So we're only going to be shipping to the United States. So we're only going to deal with the U.S. We want to put, we can do past 5 years, or I'm going to start with 2004 to the present because we're getting a high level overview. Web search to find all categories is fine. And so I just picked up one of those topics. We're actually going to change this to above ground swimming pool. So we're going to look here and we're going to see what we're trying to look at is we can obviously see this would be considered what we would call a seasonal business. We can notice that there's peaks in June, July, and valleys in December, Christmas time in the winter. So this is a up and down market. It would be seasonal. Now we can see during COVID there's a spike. You'll notice a lot of times a lot of industries did have spikes during COVID, especially for consumer goods, things to use at home. So you're going to see that a lot on the trends. So you want to just see the trend of the market. I just want to notice, is this an upward market? Is it becoming smaller? Is it becoming bigger? What's the trend of? Just getting familiar with the market of above ground swimming pools. We're going to see that, where they're sold, what part of the country they're sold in. And then I like to go to top. I just want to see the top kind of search related queries. So pools, swimming pools above ground pools, swimming pools, in ground swimming pools, Intex as a brand name, a lower ticket product, different swimming pools. So I see some commercial intent. Pool pumps, so there's different products related to pools. Okay, interesting. I see Walmart pool, so this is brand name. So I'm seeing a lot of commercial intent here. So I'm thinking, this could be an interesting, category perhaps. So I'm just looking at that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. Now I'm using a VPN, so I have to. I'm just going to connect here. I have to do incognito mode. I also recommend to use incognito mode anyway, because you don't want any of your data interfering with the search results. So you want to trying to objective data as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in above ground swimming pool. Now I'm connecting from abroad, so this might pop up, but if you're abroad, you got to use a VPN or something like that. Let's see if I can get all these crosswalks nailed out in a minute. Seems like it's good. Alright, so now we're on Google, and so you can see here sponsored. So this is called the PLA. This is just the product listings. So we can see there's some products here, we can see some more products here, and that's exactly where we want to go. So we want to go right to the shopping tab. Now it's going to give us a correction, that's fine. We'll go ahead and add the space in there. And now what we're looking at is we're just getting a feel for the market. So we can see here there's some lower ticket items for this type of pool, but then we got these big boys right here. Wholesale pool company probably. Amazon, Walmart, Pool Warehouse, Leslie's Pool. So what we're doing is we're looking at the price points, and looks like, it's a pretty good market, right? There are some expensive products which are being sold. So I would say this is a possible market to get invested in. Just by our basic research, we're seeing that it's a good market. It is seasonal. It does have a pretty good trend. It's pretty, it's not going up or going down. We'll look at some more examples. But this is just, alright, preliminary research is pretty good. We can see that there are some vendors. Pool Warehouse seems to be doing some sort of high-ticket drop shipping. We could take a look at their site. Don't use this too much because it might, they're gonna pay for a click, so you don't want to really abuse looking at people's sites. But we can just take a quick look and just get an idea. And this seems like this is somebody who would be perhaps drop shipping these products. We can see that they have an e-commerce store. They have, it's an expensive product. We can see even this gives us an idea of some of the other comparable products which might also be in this sort of pool niche, so to speak. You can see they also have some other additional categories here. So we're seeing, okay, there's some movement in this space, right? We have some, even the price points here give us some pretty high amounts. So I like this. I like that we're in the high ticket space, so the above ground pools. We're going to keep going a little bit deeper. We're going to see there's some cheaper stuff. There's some big ones, this lazy river. So this is like what you would sell for like an amusement park or something like that. Then you have things that would be, for maybe your backyard. With a deck and everything. So maybe even the deck could be part of this website. So you have a lot of possible ideas of comparable products or even products that could be just off of this one idea. So we're looking for a hero product to kind of base around, and then we'll have a few other categories which are similar. So that's enough for the swing above ground pools. So that was super basic research, wasn't it? And then so we'll go back to this one, and then what I like to do is let's just see. Let's do what's the keyword? I'm looking for a keyword, in-ground pool. That's right. So we're going to do in-ground pool. So above ground pool, in-ground pool. So this is what I want to display here. So they're both in the pool category. Okay. So makes sense that their trends will be very similar. But what we'll see here is very interesting. The in-ground pool is a much higher search volume than the above-ground pool. Now, that might seem like common knowledge. If you could afford either one, would you prefer in-ground or above-ground, right? But there also has to be all of the equipment that goes into an in-ground pool, maybe the pumps, maybe the equipment, to the lamination for the floor. So there's all these products, maybe that comes in a set for in-ground pool. So what I'm trying to get at here is we have a pretty standard trend. And then by comparing many, we can do up to 5 different products, we can get a feel for which one's more popular than the other. So we'll see that in-ground pools are more popular than above-ground pools. And we can tell this directly from Google's data, big data. So we could do 5 even not comparable products. We can compare anything, and it'll give us some perspective on what's bigger, what's smaller, what's more popular, what's less popular. We don't know exactly how many search terms there are per month, but at least we get some comparable data on what are the indications of the marketplace. We could even scroll down and do that same research we did previously for above ground pools, for in-ground pools, and we could just see, for example, cost. Again, I'm thinking commercial intent. So cost in-ground pool. So this is very interesting. People are searching with commercial intent with the keyword in-ground pool. This is important because this is going to form the basis for our actual domain name and all those things later. So let's just even go back to our search. Let's just try in-ground pool and see what happens there. Like, look, these are all above ground. So here we have some in-ground for AliExpress, a good indication that we could do better than they could, pools, etc. So it looks like in-ground pools are also for sale on here. Again, pools made perhaps a great niche, very expensive products. So that's all we're looking for. We're seeing, is there a market for these products, and what does the market look like? So people might say, oh, you just picked one, right? Oh, you just picked one that you've done. No, I've never done this research. This is the first time I've done this research in this video. So I'm just going to pick another random one off that list from before. Telescopes. Let's see what we find about telescopes. So we're going to go back to our Google Trends, and I'm going to put telescopes here, right? Because I've got a baseline for above ground pools, in-ground pools, and then I'm going to throw telescopes in there. Now here's an example of a market which may be decreasing, right? And we can see how popular telescopes are in comparison to above ground and in-ground pools. Oh, we see that it's kind of in the base, but it does have some peaks and valleys, and it's more of a winter product. Okay, interesting. Very good to know. So let's go a little bit deeper and see what we see about telescopes. What are some top? So telescopes, the telescopes, Orion telescopes. This might be a brand name. Again, commercial intent. So there's some brand names. Whether that means that you can only buy Orion telescopes, for example, doesn't necessarily mean that we could onboard them, as they would be a really high diamond level supplier. But at least we know that there is a lot of commercial intent for these products. So let's just go. Now we're going to go back to the shopping, and we're looking at telescopes. And we're going to see again. We're looking for things that are expensive, over $750. I don't know if this is going to make it or not. 387. We got some. This is for commercial use. Interesting, very interesting. High level, high powered telescope. Viewing glasses, really scope. But it looks like, generally speaking, these telescopes. Oh, we have some. Okay, so we do have some high ticket telescopes. Okay, so there's some crazy expensive ones. Scientific telescopes. There's an interesting category if someone has some scientific knowledge. Okay, so we have some. This would require a deeper dive if someone had some knowledge in the industry. I mean, it looks like there are some products which are very expensive, but we're kind of getting right on the borderline. Maybe some kits, some bundles, perhaps. So this is one that I wouldn't count out entirely, but I would do a deeper dive. But let's just see if we can even do that. Let's just try this site, High Point Scientific. Let's see what they're selling. Because they're going to do a lot of the research for you already, right? So boom, here we go. We got a whole website that sells. Okay, so they again, we're going to that category idea. 3 or 4, in this case, maybe 6 or 7, looks like different categories, which all are kind of to the same type of person. All the people who are interested in science, whether it's looking at things from far away up close, right? Or looking at things up close, very close. So we have binoculars, we have scopes, monoculars, digital microscopes, stereo microscopes, compound microscopes, and they're kind of advertising it as a telescope website. But you can see that there's lots of different product categories of different products. Now, I don't know how many of these are expensive. It looks like they're kind of doing, a lot of upselling here. They're probably selling all different price points. So we want to try to be as niche specific with expensive products. We want to be more high level with more. So there's a lot of expensive stuff. Here we go. Oh, we have these bundle packages. So yeah, this could be a good niche. It looks like the general price point is in the thousands of dollars. So this is great. Yeah, this could definitely be a possible niche to get into for someone who's interested in this in telescopes. Let's just keep looking. Yeah, so there's a lot. Most of it looks like it's bundles, it seems like, and then they have some accessories for those. Let's even look at compound microscopes. These are bringing back to high school. So these are not so expensive. So their main thing is telescopes, and then they have some bundles and perhaps some accessories. So yeah, if you want it, this could be a great niche, potentially. So I'm going to, even if the fact that there are other people selling these products is good. So we have some competition, we have some people in the marketplace who've already proven that these are categories which people buy products in, or they wouldn't be operating, right? And they wouldn't be advertising for sure. This person is actively advertising this product. They're paying for people to click on this ad. So they wouldn't do that if they weren't making money actively from their store. So what I'm going to show you how to do is to come in and pick any product that you're interested in and to eat everyone's lunch, to be frank. So there are systems in places which I've learned from earning millions of dollars online through e-commerce that are going to allow you to just come into any niche that you want to get into and just eat everyone's lunch directly. You'll be able to do that with all the different things, with conversion rate optimization on the site, having all the proper organization on the back end, the infrastructure, having your SEO on point, having your ads on point. These are all going to be things that you set up in the get ready phase. And so that's going to be something you have a power that you're going to have after you go through the entire program of phase 1 and phase 2 and learning in phase 3. So this is something to learn about. And just for fun, let's just do one more for all the haters out there who, think that it's hard to find a niche. It's hard to do. Oh, it's hard to pick a product. Yeah, so we just found 2 niches. We're two for 2. Let's go for one more. Let's do, here's one, chandeliers. So again, we're going to go back to our original one, and we're going to add chandeliers right here. And we're going to see, okay, how do chandeliers compare to everything else? So again, they're up a little bit, and then they've come down a little bit. So I don't know if my initial kind of feeling is, I don't know. In-ground pool looks way better. Look at this big spike right here. But the market overall is declining slightly, but everything's down since COVID. But you can see how I'm thinking. I'm thinking out loud, so you can get a perspective. I'm comparing all these different ideas, and I'm finding the ones which I think have the nicest graph, which seem like they're upward trending. They have, I'll put one here that I know is like upward trending, just for an example. Look, see, this is an example of an industry which is, now this, I would kind of advise against getting into this niche, just because it's hyper competitive with ultra slim margins. So it's really a difficult niche unless you're really involved in it to make it work. I do know some people who have done it, but I just wanted to use this as an example of a trend which is growing. So you can see here the purple line that this electric bike niche is becoming more and more popular. So what I want to do is just show you that there, and then we're going to take that off because it's going to skew how the graph shows. So we're looking at chandeliers. So again, it's not bad, right? It's just a little bit downward over time, but we still see, some pretty decent stuff as we would expect. California, Texas, Minnesota is an interesting one for chandeliers. These are color coded, so that's why I can see easily. So chandelier, lighting, lighting chandeliers, right? Chandelier crystal, modern. Okay, Home Depot, so some commercial intent. I like that. Lowe's, okay, very good. Okay, so very interesting. So we can see chandeliers. Now we're going to go back to, again, Google Shopping. Third one's the charm. Look at chandeliers. Oh man, look at this big bad boy right here. 11,000 for this thing. Wow, that's wild. Stone, interesting. So we see, yeah, okay. So we have some nice stuff. Italian Concept seems to be a store which I see it multiple times here that they're actively advertising for chandeliers. So they have a lot of like expensive world-class lighting. Let's take a look at that. We're seeing again, look, 3,000. So Italian Concept is really promoting expensive chandeliers. So we can keep looking. We'll keep looking down, and we're seeing there's not much else here, and the price points don't really seem. Yeah, so I don't really. My first impression of this one is not that great. So there's not a lot of market as far as like, it's not going up necessarily. It's pretty consistent. It has gone down a little bit. Let's get the pools and telescope right here. Okay, so now we're going to look at this website. So this is the one that we see promoting. I can see they're actively doing a Labor Day sale. So we can see that let's see what they're doing. Okay, so they have chandeliers, pendant lighting, wall lights, floor lamps. So they're just trying to sell a lot of different lighting. So pendant lighting. Okay, let's keep looking. Yeah. So they have some stuff, 1,700. So we can see that there's a possibility here. I mean, if this is kind of mid-ticket, low-ticket, high-ticket stuff, but there are some products which are expensive. Now, again, this could perhaps have, commercial properties also selling to contractors, maybe. So, if you could be the number one supplier of chandeliers and lighting fixtures, as far as just the in this case, I'd recommend that this company focuses on the high-ticket stuff, but they have a little mixture here. I don't know if maybe this is part of their business plans to mix it all together. But they could definitely optimize a bit. But either way, just one of those things when you have the ability, and what I'm giving you guys is the ability to eat people's lunch. And so when you see people, you just know, oh, I could just come in here and destroy this category. It's very motivating, and it's going to be important for you guys once you have that ability to share it with people that you know, and show them how to change their lives and become financially independent or become stable with their e-commerce business and be able to work remotely from wherever they want, and all the perks this life brings. So these are 3 examples, and I feel like I don't want to end on a bad one. Let's do this one. I'm just, again, any hater out there who's talking, we're gonna do 5. So we're gonna do one more here. I'll do fire pits. Let's see what's going on with fire pits. If after this you watch this video, if you tell me you can't pick, if you come to me and you say it's difficult for you, or you're not able to find a product category to work in, then man, you gotta really look around you and think about things that you see that are for sale that could be sold, because there's just so many things. And especially bring that knowledge you have from your expertise or from your field and find things that could be expensive that you know about that others don't. It's a really big opportunity. So fire pits, we have, let's go down. Okay, so outdoor fire pits, gas fire pits for sale. Okay, cool. So again, I'm changing this to top because rising is just what's popular right now. I want to know what generally is the top. Okay, so we can see where. So let's just do fire pit. Oh, I think we stumbled upon something that's great. Look at these. We got lots of expensive fire pits. Oh, these are fantastic. Anyone who's ever sat in front of these, what a great experience. So this is good. My initial impression's great. $4,000, $3,000 propane fire pits. These are probably really high quality. We got Starfire Direct. So I'm going to check out this store right here. We got Bed Bath & Beyond. We have a few vendors, Solo Steve. So there's some mid-ticket and some high-ticket stuff. So, but when we scroll down, there's not many people down here, which means which could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. Doesn't really necessarily, but when we scroll farther down, we can even see. So we have a mixture of high ticket and low ticket. I like the fact that there's so many PLA ads. That means that these people are actually selling these products because they're paying for people to click on these items. So they, if you're advertising them and you're paying for them, it means they're probably selling. Let's get our chandeliers, the lights. So again, we're looking at another store. So we have, so they're combining fire pits with accessories for the fire pit, the burner system. Makes sense. Office furniture, patio furniture, umbrellas, heaters, right? Barbecues, outdoor fireplace, right? So again, we can see the example. So we have 3 or 4 or 5, 3 or 4 plus, up to 6 or 7 maybe, different product categories, which all kind of come together to create a brand, Starfire Direct. So we have this. This is just a random site. I've never seen this before. I don't know who they are. I'm just saying that there is a brand in which they have all these different categories, and this is going to give you some perspective as you're doing your market research as to find out, what are a type of product category which all appeal to the same type of person. So this type of person might be, it's a guy who likes to spend time in their backyard, or a gal, right? It's someone who likes to spend time in their backyard, or maybe it could be a restaurant, perhaps. But it doesn't look like they're selling commercial grade stuff. I mean, they might be selling commercial grade things. But it looks like someone who has a nice backyard and wants to put a fire pit out there. They want to have some outdoor furniture. They want to have a heater out there, maybe a barbecue, outdoor kitchen. So this is mostly kind of outdoor, backyard, hangout stuff. So we want to find things that cost $750 plus that would all fit into this thing and put it into a brand. Now, we don't want to go crazy. Some people might, you notice that these sites, they all have between 4 to 5 to 6 different, up to maybe 10 at most, or 11 categories. Now, that's because as you get spread out and you start to have many categories, then you have to manage the ads and the keywords and the ad spend and the budget for all of these categories. So it's much better to be a bit more specific with the high ticket products rather than be more spread out with mixing in a lot of like mid and low ticket items. Because what you'll end up happening is it becomes difficult to organize the ad spend when you have, okay, these products have are low ticket on, so but they're accessories, so they have like a $5 profit per sale, where something like the actual main unit, the gas fire pit, could be, this product is $3,300 plus any perks or additional features. Their profit could be upwards of, I don't know, it could be $600 to $800, maybe $500 to $700, $800 per sale. So it's so you really want to focus primarily on the high ticket stuff, because that is what's going to pay for the advertising to sell more stuff. And if you're mixing in too many low or mid ticket products, it can become difficult. So focus high level, focus expensive items, and focus 3 or 4 high level expensive categories. So again, I don't know this person, that site. I've never done any research on these product categories before, and you could do this research for literally any of the products which I listed on the previous video. I'll show them again. You could do any of that research. I picked these 3 or 4 off of this list, so you could pick any products off of your own list, take this list, find ones that interest you, and complete the best part. Pick the one which works for you, and then we're going to dig a little bit deeper into, now actually identifying, are these products, are these niches, are they dropship friendly? So we're going to go right into that, and we're going to use the example of this fire pit since we're right here. So this is a great example of probably a dropship store. So there's a few ways which we can identify if a niche is dropship friendly. Meaning, is it possible for us to do dropshipping, high ticket dropshipping within this product category? Now, some indications is we're going to look at their About Us page if they have one. Let's see if we can find one. Something About Us, or their shipping and return policy. Usually it's at the bottom. Here we go. So we're looking at About Us. And what you'll notice is a lot of these sites, so look at this, we'll see here. We're looking at the About Us page, and there's no mention of a physical warehouse, right? We don't see anything here about, we have an address here, but I bet that's a suite somewhere perhaps. And we don't see anything about, about their office. So let's look at shipping and returns policy. Let's see if it ships from their warehouse, or it mentions something about, again, look, we're seeing here. So it's just saying about general shipping. Let's look at the return policy. Right, so minus return shipping costs, some indication. So we're pretty sure that this person, based on these data points, is that this individual is drop shipping these products, because A, they don't have it doesn't seem like they have a physical location, and B, it seems like they are selling a lot of different brands, right? And they're not, and their shipping and return policy doesn't mention anything specific about shipping to their warehouse or returning to their warehouse, or doesn't see anything about their specific location. And I'll show you an example of that after. But this is I just wanted to use this example because it's a great example of a website that is dropship products. It's very obvious to me in the industry that this is a site that they're dropshipping. Now, let's go into one of the products. So what we can do is we can see, let's stick with the main hero product. So we'll do gas fire pits, wood burning, interesting different categories, specialty fire pits. Okay, so right here, we're checking out, Starfire. So that's a brand, right? Starfire Designs. This is some brand. And we're going to keep going. Oh, Starfire Direct. So this might be their brand. But I doubt it. I think they're white labeling something. Let's see. Here's a way to check it out. We're going to do Starfire Designs Fire Pit. Get the same pop-up. Let's see. We're going to do crosswalks again.